Good morning, traders. I hope everybody's having a great week so far. I wanted to hop on really quick today because I am very excited to announce that I was just approved for futures trading. So I've got my setup here. I am probably going to start out working with the micro E-minis and natural gas, possibly some crude oil, especially since it's just had such a major dip. Let's take a look at crude here for a minute on the 20-year chart. This is one of my favorite things to do with crude oil. I started trading crude in April of 2019, I guess, and I made a little bit of money, but I also got caught into a couple of these dips. And again, at that point, I was not trading the futures, I was trading the leveraged ETFs. So I got myself into a couple of nasty situations, not really understanding that the leveraged ETFs kind of go down indefinitely until they decide to do a reverse split on them, which can be a little hazardous to your account. Let's see, natural gas is continuing to drop this morning. So I am trying out the Tradovate platform for a couple of weeks. This is not it, obviously, but I shorted natural gas in that platform yesterday, and I'm really wishing that I had held on. I think I made 150 in the simulator on that trade, shorted it somewhere in here, just due to its recent pattern of recognizing this zone as an area of supply. Let's expand this to the 20-day hour chart just so that we can see. So first we had a bounce from the 50 EMA down into this zone, and it looks like we've got a historical support level from before that. So natural gas hit this point, bounced up for a little while, danced between these zones, and then fell down out of that and has again identified this as an important area for natural gas. So as you can see, this is a double bottom. And I know a lot of people took long positions yesterday in natural gas based on that pattern. But an important thing to remember that my friend Leo has so aptly demonstrated, that these patterns, they're just there to give us an idea of what might happen. But they really only work out about 50% of the time, if that. And you have to remember when you're deciding to take a trade based on these, that the big institutional buyers know about these patterns too. And so if this were to play out like a double bottom, what would have happened would be that it formed a little handle here and then skyrocketed upwards. And I could see reason for that happening in natural gas this week, just because it's much colder, and we're seeing reports that the companies are planning on cutting down production. But given that natural gas has been on such a consistent downtrend for so many months right now, I am just not comfortable taking a long position. And see, we still have this hypothetical zone up here, so it is possible. That was based on the Tpo profile that we looked at last week. The top of the channel that it's been trending in is still up in that area. So it's very reasonable to think that it could fill a gap and jump back up to 1.9 or 2. But I'm not going to put my money on it just yet. So anyway, in the Tradovate platform, I took it short, and I'm not one for holding overnight very often. I'm hoping to develop my skills as a swing trader. now that I'm approved for futures, but I just haven't embraced that so much at this point. So here we see that it did bounce off of the 50 EMA, and also there's a couple of other important support levels or resistance levels and supply and demand zones that we've been looking at action in. So I'm going to continue to watch this during the day today. Oh, let's pop ourselves back out there real quick. Ah! Sorry, there's so many things going on my chart. So we've got another hypothetical zone down in this area. So I am not going to take any positions on natural gas until I have a little bit more time to determine today's price action, because I really do think that it could go either way. We've been talking for quite some time about the possibility for natural gas to revisit its 5-year lows, which is down around 1.6. So a long position is just not what I'm looking for at the moment. Okay, so sorry, I'm obviously always a little bit more focused on natural gas than everything else. I know it better than most other things. I'm hoping to expand that a bit as we develop ourselves as futures traders. So sorry, I'm just trying to find a ticker over here on this side, because I did uncharacteristically take two swing positions last night based on what I saw on natural gas. Sorry, on crude oil. Okay, so as you can see, I opened a swing position on the ETF UCO, and I bought in down here at 13.52, and the price is currently trading at 14.11. I don't think that I'm going to hold on to this very long, just because I don't trust oil. I don't trust the way that it moves. There's so many factors that are involved in the price fluctuations. It's been on a constant downtrend again for a little while, and I'm going for growth. This account is my smaller growth account, and I'm a little hesitant to lose much more or lose anything in this account, but of course losses are inevitable. So this is my trade on UCO. I'm going to watch the price of oil today and decide whether or not I want to sell out of this position. Let's just peek at the 20-day. Okay, so 20 days ago we were at $23. We'll see how long I can hold it. When I bought it, the idea was to hold all the way back up to 23. But I'm kind of overall bearish on oil for this year, so we will see how that plays out. And I just wanted to pop over here and take a look at this swing. So I'm experimenting with these two. I didn't want to hold UWT overnight just because it moves so rapidly. So I took another position, 75, just kind of to experiment with the movement of USO. So I took a trade in USO and UCO. And as you can see, we were up almost $50 in UCO. USO, we're only up $18.38. And I'm just going to open up UWT so that we can take a look at that trade I took yesterday. Oh, there it is. My apologies. Okay, so as you can see, oil was trending down for the entire day. And a lot of this is related to world economic conditions, but also the technicals, which we'll take a look at in just a second over on the crude oil futures chart. But I identified this area as a possible turning point, at least intraday, But the reason that I decided to take a swing trade is because I was looking at a major support area on crude oil, and I had reason to believe that we could see a turnaround. So I took this trade yesterday, 300 shares at 747 and sold at 7545. That was about, I don't know, 25, 50 bucks. I don't remember how much I made on that one. Real quick, let's just peek at DGAS, because I made a bad trade on DGAS yesterday. I ended up losing about 50 bucks in this account and about 400 in the other. I get kind of married to the idea of the direction of natural gas sometimes. But, you know, losses are just part of the game, so I'm not really upset about that. Let's just pop over real quick to the IRA so you can see those trades. This is what happened here. I heard an alert go off. I decided to hop off, take a break real quick from the other things that I'm working on during the day. I bought in at 275. I thought that there was a good possibility of a reversal here, and then I started thinking the same thing as it's revisiting this price level, but then almost immediately it tanked down and we got another reversal candle. So I didn't want to sell out here because it would have been down about $700. Instead, I waited until it started turning back down again underneath of this level, and I sold out for about $400 loss. But again, you just really have to understand that losses are an inevitable part of trading. And hey, if you look over here, I considered holding on to DGAZ overnight because there's always the possibility of it coming back up. But the reason that I didn't is that I didn't plan the trade out that way, and it's just pretty tough to tell whether or not it was going to skyrocket or drop back down here to $238. And I wasn't willing to tie up my capital in the meantime. And you guys who have been trading DGAZ for a little while, you know that it moves $10 to $30 during the day pretty frequently. So I'm not overly concerned about having taken that loss, even though it would have popped back up if I held overnight and turned a profit. If I'm cautious today, I should be able to recoup that with no problem. And I would rather lose 400 than end up down 7,000. So that's what goes into those decisions for me. So let's pop back over here to... All right, just a real quick look at crude oil, and then I'm going to have to go because I've got some other things I need to take care of this morning. So this is the 20-year chart, and I think it's really important to get a good solid perspective on crude oil and its movements. So if we look back here in 2001, we have a low of $17.32 per barrel. These spikes up incredibly high are post 9/11, and then, oh, what year is this? The drop down, 2008. So this is a perfect example of something that I've highlighted a few times in the Discord chat. If you go back and you trace crude oil every year during an election cycle, this is what happens. It's not always that dramatic, but there is a substantial drop. 2008 was an election year. 2006, 14 to 16, we were heading up for an election. Sorry, that dip wasn't Anyway, I went back through several months ago and I posted an image, and I will try to put it in the comment feed here, but every single election cycle there is a drop in oil prices, and that, coupled with the world trade issues that we're having, coupled with people beginning to use more electric cars, more concern over climate change, and the current situation with the coronavirus, I think that it's an important thing to consider, that there's a possibility of oil taking a dive. Now, like I said, I took some swing trades yesterday based on the price action around this support level here at 49. But let's take a look below that and be realistic. It could bust down through all of these levels and revisit $26. I just don't have any way to know whether or not that's going to actually happen. So here's 2016. My apologies. So this is February 1st of 2016. Do I know that the price is going there? Absolutely not. But is it reasonable to assume that it could, given all of the situations happening globally right now? Absolutely. So I'm just going to keep a really close eye on it. If you notice, it's also in a bit of a channel here. We've got 1, 2, 3 touches on this channel, so I'm paying attention right around this level very carefully. I would love to see something happen and oil spike up here to the top of my channel. That would take it to 72, 79, or somewhere around that area. But there's just no way to tell. So I'm going to put some trailing stop losses on my swing trades today. And if the price dips down below where it is now, we'll get out of that trade. So let's just take a look at it on a smaller time frame. Yeah, so this is the 5-day, 5-minute chart. This looks to be a bit of a double bottom. I like the way the price moved up out of this area, bounced off of that support. RSI is still pointing upwards. So everything will depend on what happens in this zone and whether or not we have some news catalyst today. So what is today? Today is Wednesday, so we've got the crude oil report. I actually may opt to close out both of these swing positions before the report, just because I really don't like holding into the report. As many of you know, the report can cause dramatic shifts in prices, which could force the price of crude oil to just smash through this zone and revisit lower prices. So, really quick before we hop off, my apologies, I feel a little bit scattered this morning. My dogs keep waking me up earlier and earlier in the morning. I think they want me to trade more so that I can buy them more cookies. Yeah, so this is the Tpo Profile. There are a lot of really strange low volume nodes on oil. And I am not great at determining the price movements. There's a lot of manipulation and price fluctuations that are determined by global issues, and not necessarily so much based on where there have been areas of low orders or even uses. Anticipated usage or anticipated changes in supply can send the global oil markets dramatically in one direction or another. Other people may be better at calling that out than I am, but I'm just telling it like it is. So we will wait and see what happens here. I wish you all luck with your trading today. I'm really excited to start posting some videos about my futures trades. Hopefully it's not so dramatically different that I end up losing all of my money. Let's pop back out. Again, I don't trade with the Tpo profile on during the day. I'm not a fan of the way that it looks. All right, well, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. I appreciate your support, and Happy trading. Bye.